Hello, gentlemen. So, about a year ago, more or less, I was down bad. And when I mean down bad, I mean I was having really dark thoughts, borderline suicidal type of shit, very anxious, very depressed. I was at the worst shape of my life. I had just been dumped by my girlfriend of 5 years, and I completely lost any reason to live. Pretty much, things were very bad. I hated my job. I was alone at a city that's away from family, and there are two things that really helped me out getting out of that hole, which was 24-hour fastings and journaling. And today I want to explain a little bit of that process, explain a little bit how those two things can help you, and why the importance of combining them. Because I'm sure you've heard about fasting, I'm sure you heard about journaling. The combination of those two is extremely powerful, and I don't think enough people talk about it or talk about it enough, right? So here's the thing, man. Journaling by itself, you guys might know, is a very strong, very powerful practice that you can do because, for anxiety specifically, because it allows you to get all those messy thoughts in your head and organize them in a paper in a logical sequence. And by naming and explaining and properly organizing the problem, you are better at addressing it. It's the same principle of therapy, is the same principle of, for example, the Catholic confession. By naming something and saying it out loud, it's kind of like you remove the weight of it because you put that thing in perspective. You kind of remove it from yourself, and you understand it a little bit better, and then it doesn't become that big of a problem, right? I do honestly believe that the process of self knowledge and self understanding is very similar to the process of confession. It's like, imagine you're in the dark room, and the dark room has all your nasty thoughts and all the parts about yourself that you don't like, and then there's also some talent, some things that you're good at, and you kind of have like a rough idea of what's there, but you don't know exactly where those things are, what the quantities are, how can you use it. So when you confess it, when you go through this journey of self understanding, it's like you grab a flashlight and you just point it at the things that are in the dark room, in the dark basement, and now you can see it clearly. And when you see it clearly, then you can use it, or you can understand it, or you can stop fearing it. Because before that, it was just a dark unknown, you know, scary. But now they actually know what's there. It's not the head, the decapitated head of a man, and it's just like a blanket. Now you know you don't have to be scared of it. So that's why journaling works. Now the fasting comes in the way that, for you to be able to describe those movements, those internal movements, those emotional movements, the tricky thing about like therapy, psychology, the whole study of the psyche, is the fact that it's not a stable thing. Like when you study the body, you can do studies, right? You can do studies, you can open up the bodies, you can, recreate similar conditions in a lab, you can have the patient logs, the body is stable. Like every human body behaves roughly the same way. The spirit is also something that's very consistent. The metaphysical stuff. It's like it's stabilized concepts that don't change, and even better, they're like eternal concepts that don't change. It's like when you think about math in a way it's easy because like the concepts are there, and no matter what fucking happens, the numbers are still numbers and they keep working the same way. When we're talking about like emotions and the psyche, is a very unstable thing. You never know, man. Now you're sad, then you're happy, then you're hungry, then you're horny, then you're bored, and then you eat something, and now you're feeling better. But then you tip your little toe at the corner of the cabinet, and now you're pissed off again. And then you see a photo that reminds you of your ex, and then you get sad. But then your friend sends you an Instagram reels, and you start laughing, and now you're happy again. So it's a very unstable, unreliable, inconstant, and messy thing. So it's very hard to fucking stabilize that. It's like the whole exercise of psychology, when you actually think about it, is trying to store, like it's trying to contain the sea. It's trying to contain the sea. You can do it like a little bit, and you can understand it a little bit better, and you can do like pockets of whatever stable, like, pose or whatnot. But you cannot fully contain it and understand it and like keep it under control. Is a bit of a rough thing. So for you to be able to observe that, like, you cannot contain the ocean, but you can observe the ocean. You can observe the waves, the motions, everything that's happening, and you can draw conclusions by means of observation. So the thing with journaling is that is it's most effective when you can observe those internal movements, and a fantastic way to increase your ability to observe those movements without being dragged on by them. So it's very hard to observe your anger because you're fucking angry. And now you're fucking angry. You're screaming at the other person on traffic because they fucking cut you off, or you're screaming at the truck driver because he's fucking tailgating the shit out of you, and you're lost it. You lost your mind. Like, you cannot observe the anger because you're fucking experiencing it. And the best way to obtain this ability, to train this capacity of kind of detaching from your own feelings, right? The whole goal of meditation is doing that, is the 24-hour fast. Because one of the big things you learn during longer fasting windows is that your hunger is going to come, you're going to get hungry, but then if you just fucking ignore it, it's going to go away, right? And there's an extra step to it, because you realize that one of the things that I say that fasting did to me in the past year, that I've been doing like one meal a day for the past year, is that it completely fixed my relationship with food. I had a bad relationship with food. Why? Because growing up, food for me was a source of pleasure and a source of escape. So even if my day was being shit, I could know that I can get to dinner and I'm going to eat a lot and I'm going to be happy. And it's like, oh, if you behave well, we're going to go to McDonald's after this, for example. It's like, oh, the day was good when after school my mom would take me and my younger brother to go to McDonald's, and that was a good day. And that was phrased and put to me as a reward. So growing up, I developed this relationship that food equals pleasure, or that food equals an escape mechanism. Usually when we have a fucked up behavior like an addiction or a vice or something that we don't want to do, like maybe porn, maybe food, maybe smoking, maybe drinking, what we like is not the behavior in itself, because a lot of times people know that they're doing something wrong, but the reason they keep doing it is because that is fulfilling a need that they have, or they're running away from an aspect of their lives that they don't want to look at. So maybe you are bored, or maybe you are feeling this need for a connection, which is completely natural and human, but instead of having friends and a girlfriend or whatever, you go to porn. Or let's say you were bored and you're unfulfilled and your work doesn't satisfy you and you don't think you make enough money, but then you can eat, you have food. So usually the bad relationship with food and all those kinds of things is usually a way to escape and a way to avoid feeling something that you have to deal with. So when you go on those 24-hour fasts, it's like there's no running away, man. There's no running away. That's why the first Christians, that's why the mystics, that's why they all recommended fasting as a form of combating lust. It's not by mistake, it's not a coincidence, because it's the same fucking behavior. You're just using advice, you're using something to run away from something that you have to deal with. So when you combine those two things, the 24-hour fastings with the journaling, man, you absolutely mog your anxiety. You absolutely mog your depression, because then you have a clear, focused mind that is able to observe those feelings of anxiety and depression, and you can write about it. You can go like, well, why am I feeling this anxiety? Like, why do I want to eat right now? I'm not even hungry right now, but I want to eat right now. Why do I want to do that? Why am I craving ice cream specifically? You should be asking yourself those questions, right? What are the things that I'm running away from? What are the problems that I'm trying to not deal with? And when you start asking yourself those questions, you become more, you increase the knowledge of yourself. Socrates said, know thyself, and you increase the knowledge of yourself, increase your self-awareness, and that absolutely mogs your anxiety. A big mistake, though, that I encourage you guys to not do and it's very easy to do, is that it's very easy to start feeling like you're above the process, right? So as you start practicing, as you start doing it, you're going to feel a lot better. And you're going to somehow get this idea that you're cured, that you're strong enough, that you are above the process, that you don't need to do it anymore, that you don't feel like it. It's very important that you don't listen to those things and that you keep practicing this thing, man. It doesn't have to be daily, it doesn't have to be consistently, but know that you have that tool. Know that you have that possibility. And that at any time that you're feeling anxious, confused, scared, you can always go back to hey, fasting and journaling. Fasting is something that I encourage you to do every day. It's something that I encourage you to do at least every week consistently. And by the way, I do have a school community where I teach you how to fast and how to make your fasting easier and everything that you need to know about it to make the life easier, add it to your routine, things to do with the free time you're going to read, how to lose weight with it. So it's a complete fasting system that you have. I call it Casually Lean Club. So if that's something you're interested in losing weight with fasting while you still can enjoy your 20s and enjoy your life, feel free to check it out in the description. Now, it is very important, again, that you don't start feeling like you're above the process, because otherwise you're going to miss all the progress that you've been making with that fasting and the journaling, man. So be very aware of that. So that is all for today's video. I hope you guys have a blessed week, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.